So this is the story about the only fight I lost, well, real fight. It doesn't count when my brother used to beat me up when I was younger all the time. That don't count as a fight, but he did used to beat me up all the time. So shout out to my brother. Made me tougher along the way, but at the end of the day, the only fight I lost, I remember it. Um, Me and my cousin, we was leaving from a school party from behind the school or whatever. They had a party or whatever, and we was leaving and we was walking to go use the phone, the pay phone. Back in those days, there wasn't cell phones. I'm exposing my age, but back in those days, there was no cell phone. They had pages at that point in time, but I couldn't afford one. I wasn't living that life. So we was walking to the store to go use the pay phone, and I remember my cousin saying, while we was walking, somebody threw a bottle at him. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? And he's like, somebody just threw a bottle at me. And we look back and there's like five guys behind us. And I'm like, oh shit. So I'm like, yo, let's run. So we start taking off running. I mean, we running. We running. I'm ahead of my cousin. He's sagging. We both sagging because that's the style. And he falls. I don't see him fall, but I look back. And when I look back, I see him on the ground. All the guys, all five of the guys, they on top of him. So I'm like, shit. So I gotta run back. I run back, and I swing on one guy. I hit him in the side. Then I start tussling with another guy or whatever. Long story short, ain't much happened. Nobody really got damaged in the situation in that fight or whatever. They went. Me and my cousin, we ran off. Called my brother-in-law to come pick us up or whatever. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared the whole time. I was scared the whole time. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going on. And plus, the fight wasn't about me. That's the thing. Like, it was them wanting my cousin because he was a part of this crew or whatever. And I just happened to be with my cousin. I wasn't gonna let him go down like that or whatever. And the crazy thing is how that situation, and if anybody know this story, they could tell it. And that situation is what made a domino effect on a whole situation in my community back in Hope County. That situation led to my cousin, the little crew he was with, retaliating on that crew. And then that crew retaliating again. And then my cousin crew, they retaliated again, where that ended up them killing someone and they going to jail. And to this day, some of them are still in jail at this point in time. And the thing is, and the moral of this story is, man, is that I look back and a lot of times I think about the situation and what if they would have had a different life? Like, what if they would have had some strong male figures in their life? What if they would have had somebody different to tell them something different? Like, I remember, man, they was small guys, but they were some of the toughest and fearless guys in that town, man. They was tough. And I remember this was my senior year of high school or whatever, and I started growing dreadlocks at the point of time in remembrance of them, and I remember them getting locked up or whatever. And it was just that, and that's the journey that I'm on. Like, it was remembrance of being a strong male figure. Like, a lot of times we have these men who think they are men, but they're really not men because they're leading our young men and our youth the wrong way. That's not a man. A man is not someone who can fight all the time or someone who can bag bitches or put a couple of notches on his bed. That's not a real man. A real man takes responsibilities. A real man disciplines himself. A real man knows how to control his emotions. A real man knows how to lead. A real man knows how to honor his community and uplift his community. And the thing is, when I look back, and if we would have had these strong men in our community, these young 18 and 19-year-old men wouldn't be still locked up today behind bars. Because it wasn't nobody in that community that was willing to step up to the plate and take leadership. I got sons. I got two sons. And my oldest son, he just joined the Army. recently. He was in basic training. Now he in AIT or whatever. And my son, he's a fighter. That's all he is a fighter. Like anybody that know him in Fayetteville, North Carolina, he went to Douglasboro High School. All he did was fight. Like he got tapes everywhere showing that he fight because that's what I used to do. I used to teach him how to fight. But at the same time, I didn't only teach him how to fight and understand that, but I disciplined at the same time. He had to know stuff. Like when he got into trouble, he had to read a book and give me a book report on that. He know that we had conversations all the time of understanding how to be a man, how to control his emotions, how to understand how to walk as a man, and a black man in life, not to be head down, but head up and knowing how powerful you are. If anybody ever seen me and him interact, know that he talks a lot of crap to me, but I don't get mad at it because I don't want him to never be afraid of another man. But that's the type of bond you got to have. That's the type of understanding you got to have. And that's the type of thing that we need to have in our community. We got to start empowering our youth. We got to start empowering the black men in our youth. Stop trying to make them seem or be something else because they ain't that gangster. But teach them and grow them in the correct way so they can be a different type of gangster. A gangster of economics. A gangster of progressing the culture. Somebody who bring legacy and leave legacy behind. Not somebody that does time and does a bid. But somebody that get to enjoy their life. Somebody that's free of the mental cluttery in their head. Somebody that can be present. Somebody that can lead the way. And that's the journey I'm on. I know a lot of times people might think, oh, his what he doing is different. No, I always had the same journey. The only thing is my plan might have changed up, but I always was on the same path of I want to do something to empower my community. It's just that certain things didn't work out the way I wanted, so I had to switch up. I had to pivot. I had to do something different. And I was always willing to do something different because I knew what my why was and I knew what I wanted in the long term. And I'm still able to pivot at any point in time that I need to. But we got to understand, what are we doing? What are we giving our youth? What are we showing them? We can show them the strength, the physical strength, but show them the mental strength also. Let them understand that they can be strong and powerful, but be able to control their emotions and they don't have to react. They can be proactive in situations. And understand they can be whatever they want to be in life and they can be the greatest they want to be. They are gods because they was made in his image. They are greatness. They are our future. They are the leaders of the next generation. And I'm going to sign off with that. Cash. Constantly achieving successful habits every day. You heard?